Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play, link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to this Tactics and Showcase video. It's for a model that I've very recently painted up, and that's the brand new Jain Zar model. So in this video, the usual format, we'll zoom in, take a look at the finished paint job on that model, and then we'll think about the rules, how best to use Jain Zar. We'll cover all the points, war gear, and what the weapons do and so on, and how to get the best out of this Phoenix Lord. So, the model is here. Painted up, absolutely incredible. It's just an amazing model. Games Workshop doing a really good job of resculpting some of the classic models, which is a dream come true for a lot of players, for multiple different factions, not just the Eldar, but Drazar, Master of Blades, has been resculpted. Space Wolves, as well. I've had some models resculpted, famous models. That have an old miniature, out of date, and then they're getting a resculpt. It's fantastic stuff. So Jain Zar, just one of the Phoenix Lords. There's still others to be redone, but a great job so far that Games Workshop have done with this model. I'm going to zoom in. We'll take a closer look at how Jain Zar has come out. So there she is. I've just copied the artwork from the book. Haven't really deviated in any way. We'll just rotate around. But head and shoulders, if I show you, just for comparison, let's show you a Marine. That's the height of her. Isn't that amazing how, just with the pose, jumping off this ledge here and the hairstyle and so on, but she's almost jumping up and over the top of a Space Marine. So it's a big model for just an infantry character. And what a focal point for your Eldar army. So Jain Zar, utterly incredible, really impressed, and a joy to paint up. I spent a little bit extra time just making sure she was painted up nice and tidy and crisp here. So no doubt some people will be saying, well, is there a tutorial? Not specifically for Jain Zar, but for the basing, just check out the urban basing tutorial here on YouTube. I've used exactly the same technique on the base just there. I sprayed Jain Zar white was the colour, so the skull white, the GW spray that they produce, and then just a case of filling in the colours, the relevant colours. Here, watered down a Shabti bone, just straight over the white. The gold, straight onto the white, a couple of coats, the black, the green here, the red painted on. The silver, which goes onto white nice and bright, and then just a case of putting washes over the top. So for Jain Zar's armour, that bone coloured armour, I used Seraphim Sepia across the whole thing, and then for some of the deeper shading, like here just around the chest and the legs there, around the neck and so on, not the whole thing, so I don't want to make those pads be too strong, like black outlines around them. Just wanted it in the more extreme crevices there. I just used Agrax Earth Shade there, and then tidied the whole thing up with a Shabti bone, nice and crisp, and then a final highlight, a Shabti bone mixed with some white. Nice and thin the paint, so adding water to it, keeping it nice and thin, and then just going around very crisp and tidy, painting it up, and that's how I've achieved the armour on there. I'm very happy with how that's come out. It's come out nice and smooth, which is the main thing. But helping with that is that white undercoat. Just gives you the nice light tone, a nice even surface underneath. Then the gold, the usual way I paint gold is painting the gold on, the Seraphim Sepia, Agrak Surfshade washes over the top, and then the original gold colour, whichever shade you decide to go for, mixed with the silver, the Mithril Silver. That's the old colour name for it, whatever the replacement for that is. And that just brings out the final highlight. The black just highlighted a little bit with some watered down Dawnstone. Then the green here, painted, highlighted. The silver, I washed that with Nuln Oil, and then the blue wash that you can get as well on that blade. Then just picked it out with the silver, just tidying it up, making it nice and crisp. And then the white on the model, the face and the hair here, that was shaded with Nuln Oil mixed with some of the blue wash as well. And then just picked out with the white. So if you want an idea of the process of painting, shading, highlighting, there's the Eldar painting tutorial, and really it's just a case of using the same principles, the same process, but just changing your colours around. So if you know, from blue to green to orange, whatever colour it is, it's the same process, just the base colour, the washes, and then the highlighting over the top of that. So you can follow that as a guide and then just change your colours around. That just gives you a bit of a walkthrough of how I went about painting the Jain Zar model, but super happy with how it's come out, and she's in my new list for the Eldar to try and help them in their battles. So amazing model, but is Jain Zar worth taking in your Eldar army? So there's three areas I think that Jain Zar is useful. First is speed. It's very quick across the board for an infantry model. Then the second reason would be the damage that she can do, and then thirdly, one of the vital abilities that she has, and that's to prevent Overwatch. So those three areas I think are her strengths for her. So we'll go for the updated rules. 115 points for Jain Zar. So it's a cheap HQ choice really compared to many other HQs, just over 100 points, and for that I think it's pretty good. There's some people saying, well, she's not that great, doesn't have an invuln save and so on, but still what you're getting is something pretty good. So Jain Zar, power level 7, 115 points. For that you get movement 8, so this is quick across the table. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+. Strength 4 and toughness 4. It's a bit tougher than regular Eldar infantry. 6 wounds, loads of wounds. 4 attacks, which is alright. There's a way to make that better. And then leadership 9 and a 2+ armor save. So one of the issues that people have is there's no invuln save for Jain Zar. They say, well, she should have a 4+ or a 5+ invuln save. But having said that, if Jain Zar is attacked with, say, a decent close combat weapon, which usually it's about AP -3, at AP -3, Jain Zar is still going to get a 5+ armor save anyway. So you don't get the invuln save, but because you've got such good armor, with the modifiers, you're still usually going to get some kind of save anyway. You know, AP -2, you're still going to get a 4+ armor save. So yes, you don't have the invuln, but you're still going to get some kind of chance, usually, unless it's AP -5, you're going to get some kind of chance to make saves somewhere. Plus, another upside, plenty of wounds. 6 wounds is a lot for your average character. So, but that is one of the, overall, it's not one of her main strengths, and so really you're looking for, to compensate for that, is the ability to ignore Overwatch, and thus prevent damage coming through, and the ability to kill a target, cause more damage, and therefore not receive as much damage back. So she has the Silent Death, so it can be thrown. It's 12-inch range, assault 4, strength, use AP -3. It's alright, it might pick off the odd wound here and there, pick off the odd model, but it's not really the main reason you take in Jain Zar. The main weapon then is the Blade of Destruction. So it's +2 strength, so she's going to fight at strength 6. So that means the rule then usually 3s to wound any type of infantry, and 5s to wound any type of vehicle, unless it's toughness 12 onwards. So strength 6 is alright, because it's going to be 5s to wound vehicles, so there is a chance of causing damage. AP -3, so it's going to bite off a nice chunk off of an armor save. D3 damage, so useful against sort of Primaris marine type targets, and then which makes this weapon better. When you resolve an attack made by this weapon, you can reroll the wound rolls. So 3s to wound infantry, but rerollable. Sometimes even 2+ at strength 6 if they're toughness 3, and then vehicles 5s to wound, but it's rerollable, so there's a good chance you're going to get some wounds coming through. And just checking it, it's at any point, not if you charge, it's just you're always wounded, rerolling your wounds there. So no need to cast Doom on a target that she's charging into, because she's got it already with the Blade of Destruction. Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, Acrobatics. These are the special rules now for Jain Zar. This model can be chosen to charge with even if it advanced, so that's incredible, really good. I mentioned all the tactics and stratagems. So there's a stratagem for the Eldar. I can't remember the full name of it, but it lets you, it's one command point, it lets you advance a guaranteed 6 or 7 inches, and you don't have to roll a dice. So if you really want to look for the maximum speed with Jain Zar, movement 8 with her, then a guaranteed, I think it's guaranteed 6 inches with that card. That's going to go to movement 14, guaranteed. And then she's allowed to charge on top of that. So very, very quick. She's a character as well, so she can be hidden behind the screens of friendly units just to shield her as she moves in for the kill. If this model advances this turn, you can choose it to charge if it is within 15 inches of any enemy units instead of 12, and you can add 3 to the charge total. So 14-inch move, potentially with that stratagem, and then your charge is 2d6 plus 3 on top of that, so you really can catch targets out with the speed of Jain Zar. Bearing in mind that you've got to think carefully of where to go. Doesn't have an invuln save. If she gets isolated, she can be picked off pretty quick, so you've got to choose your target wisely. But she's fast across the board. Storm of Silence, when this model fights, and this is one of the big bonuses here. We'll try and illustrate this in a moment and roll up some dice. The Storm of Silence. When this model fights, you can choose for its attacks characteristic to be equal to the number of enemy models within 2 inches of it after any piling moves have been made. So instead of 4 attacks, you charge into a unit of 10 Space Marines, and you're able to be within 2 inches of 8 of them. For example, she can get 8 attacks at 2s to hit, 3s to win against Marines, rerollable. All of a sudden, Jain Zar can start causing some real trouble. And then crucially, Banshee Mask. This is why tactically it could be very, very useful. Enemy units cannot fire Overwatch at this model, and so can be used to tap out vehicles. Multiple vehicles, you can really cause havoc with a unit that can't be shot at in Overwatch and can charge very large distances very quickly. So I see the uses for Jain Zar, and if you check out my new Eldar army, you can see her operating in amongst the battle lines and picking a charge at the right point, trying to help the army out. Cry of War Unending is the next rule. So this model and friendly Howling Banshees, so she helps them out. They're within 6 inches of it at the start of the fight phase. Always fight first in the fight phase, even if they did not charge. If the enemy unit has units that have charged or have a similar ability, then alternate choosing units to fight with, starting when the player's turn is taking place. A rule that's easy to forget in the middle of a game, but worth remembering, and could help keep her alive if she's able to go first ahead of another model or enemy unit. War Shout, to resolve an attack made with a melee weapon against this model, subtract 1 from the hit roll. So in close combat, it's -1 to hit her as well. So getting to go first, -1 to hit her, 2 up armor save, 6 wounds. It's not that bad for durability, and toughness 4 as well. So one way to help her out is with a Farseer. Most Eldar armies have them, for Eldrad here, but you could cast Fortune on Jain Zar and give her a 5+, feel no pain. On 6 wounds, if 6 wounds come through, you should roll 2 5 or 6s, which means really it's equivalent of about 8 wounds of Fortune in total. So that's a nice way of adding some durability to her. So, yeah, I was going to say, I'm just trying to think of ways of helping Jain Zar out. I was going to say keep an ear on Altark from the same craft world to get reroll ones in close combat, because it's annoying when you're on 2s to hit and you roll a load of ones. It does happen a fair bit, but there's no there's no craft world keyword here, so she's not going to benefit from any craft world, so you can't help her in that way. She just operates by herself. One other stratagem you could play is Supreme Disdain. It's one command point from the Eldar Codex. That means 6+ in close combat to hit, generate extra attacks, so just to try and get as many attacks as possible. But I'll roll up an example here of how Jain Zar can be used. Okay, so we've got a situation here, just to illustrate how Jain Zar can be used. She's here, and what you're doing is you're looking for the right point to charge a unit to maximize your attacks. So, usual logic is straight ahead, doesn't really matter, but for Jain Zar, it's all about the placement of the model. So you find yourself in a situation, this is like a prime kind of target for her here. This could be Primaris Marines. Weapon is damage D3, so it can take down Primaris Marines quite quickly. But we'll go and make an advanced move, +5. So we'll go 8, and then we'll go 5, and we'll swing her around the back here, like so. She swings around ready for the kill. I mean, if you go slower, there's other tricks you can do, but I'll roll up her charge now. We'll go into these space swords. Double 1, +3 is still going to put her in there. So in she goes, and I'm going to line her up something like this. Just trying to line up so that she is within 2 inches of as many models as possible, and I reckon she's actually in 2 inches of all of those. So that goes to show that's quite a wide spread on that unit. Usually players don't spread units out, especially in 8th edition where there's no templates and blast weapons and so on. So Jain Zar, with that little rule, which often opponent's not going to be aware of, you can swing in and I'll get 10 attacks now against these instead of 4. So that's where she could be at her best. If you find yourself it's a bit more of a stretch, like so, and you're trying to get to around here, then what you can do is advance with roll of 5. So I mean that's going to put us about here, but it's not really where you want to be. You're looking to be nice and close to the target, so that whatever happens the charge will go ahead, and then where you place her is just sort of the bonus. And then you make your charge, and I rolled an 8, should get around it, but say you roll a snake eyes and it becomes 5 inches, then charge around like so, and then when it comes to your piling move at the start of the fight phase, you go another 3, and you can tuck her in to about there, and then still you're going to get most of those attacks like so. So you can use your charge move to lap round, and then your piling move just to gain those extra inches as on top of that. So it's all about trying to get your position, but she's gone around there like so. You're just sort of measuring up, lining up. 10 attacks. The downside is you're going to roll a couple of 1s usually. So I've rolled A1, but the idea is just to cause as much damage as possible. 3s to wound at strength 6, and it's all re-rollable, which is going to prove to be very useful here. Yeah, because that's turned 4 wounds into 8 wounds. That's a massive bonus to have that reroll wounds. 6 is to save, 9, so that's 8 casualties, virtually wiping out the unit. And remember, she's only 115 points, so pretty good. You can say you got two enemy vehicles, she could charge both and tap out 2 vehicles, and the value of that is fantastic. There could be a vehicle parked next to an infantry unit, so she could charge both, because she has free reign to charge who she wants. There's no worry about Overwatch. Charge both the infantry and the vehicle, tap the vehicle out, and then put her attacks into the infantry. So there's some great tactical uses that you can use for Jain Zar, and preferable over Howling Banshees, because Howling Banshees are just a regular infantry unit. They can be shot at and dealt with. The opponent's going to prioritise them, doesn't like the idea of no Overwatch. But with Jain Zar, she can be hidden behind screens of other units, and so that makes her that much more harder to kill. and there's more damage going to come from Jain Zar potentially as well. You know, rerolling your wounds, fighting at strength 6 instead of strength 3. So pretty good. You could go, you know, the ultimate bonus is to perhaps play that Supreme Disdain. If you get, I don't think it's worth it, usually not worth it if you only got 4 attacks, but if you find yourself with a load of attacks, 6+ is generating extra attacks, there's 1, it's a bit below average. We'll roll again. And there's a couple of 6s. It may well just give you that a couple of extra hits just to try and go for the wipeout on the unit, give you another idea. There's none that time around. None. Oh, there's 1 there. So 1 or 2 extra hits with Supreme Disdain may well be worth it if you're trying to go for the wipeout or virtually destroy an entire unit. She's not going to be as good against units that are carrying invuln saves, so it's something to be aware of. But still pretty good. Disruptive ability with Jain Zar may well prove very useful indeed, and the damage is pretty good, and again quick across the table. That's the main reasons I think why Jain Zar would be a good option to go for. Not my main HQ, a supporting HQ choice, but not the cornerstone of an army, but more of a supporting HQ choice to take. So that's the tactics and showcase for Jain Zar. Check out the Eldar painting tutorial to get an idea of how I paint my Eldar units up, and then check out the other Eldar Tactica videos, and then follow me on Instagram, StrikingScorpion82 over on Instagram. There's a link in the video description below, and that gives you an update of all the latest models that are coming off the painting desk. Jain Zar featured on there a little while ago. It just gives you a chance to zoom in and have a look at the new models as they are painted up. And then ultimately keep a lookout for the Eldar featuring in our battle reports. Plenty of battle reports already with the Eldar, and then the new Season 8 battle reports for the Eldar will feature the brand new Jain Zar model. That's the video. Keep a lookout for more Tactica on the channel. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.